Well, I think this is being faithful to the values of our very vibrant democracy, which is open and, the government fully in the service of the people. And I have to say, our public is very demanding, expects the highest standards from government services. And I think this is the key.
In this video, let me just show why South Korea, one of the most successful economies in Asia, is one of the most successful cases when it comes to dealing with the coronavirus in the world. So unlike many other countries like China, the Philippines, Italy, and others, South Korea took a different approach that is totally open, transparent, democratic, and not really hurting or impacting their economy. Now, Philippines, China, Italy went on a lockdown. Many other countries also implemented, apart from lockdown, curfew, and other measures that are disruptive to their economies. And America or the United States, for example, under the presidency of Donald Trump, would not like to follow all these steps because this type of draconian or very disruptive approach is going to hurt their economy, and they're going to lose, according to experts, millions of jobs. So South Korea, which is very wise when it comes to dealing with this issue, did a totally 360-degree approach. Okay, again, not totalitarian, not disruptive, not draconian, no arrests made, except probably for those who were willing to defy or not follow their rules. But according to this interview with the Prime Minister, the Korean Foreign Prime Minister in South Korea, they followed democratic approach. Instead of going on a lockdown, they used technology in order to fight the spread of the virus. So first thing that they did is that they conducted or performed thousands and thousands of testing. In fact, 20,000 per day. And as of this interview, according to this foreign minister in South Korea, they conducted over 260,000 tests, okay, in order to curb or contain the spread of the coronavirus. So that's the strategy. Conduct more tests in order to contain the spread of the virus, and they did all that in the Philippines. Well, we've heard in the past that there were just like 2,000 testing kits in the Philippines, and if you're gonna check on the statistics, okay, the current statistics is that the confirmed coronavirus cases is 707. They did a few thousand tests. The thing about this is that, for example, in the case of Italy, okay, the reason why Italy has the most number of coronavirus cases and deaths as well, unfortunately, outside of China, is because compared to their European neighbors or counterparts, Italy conducted the most number of tests. Okay, so the only way a country can know or discover the objective, not really real, but objective number of coronavirus cases is to conduct testing, and that's what China, well, first China did that, South Korea and Italy in the United States did. Okay, in the United States, the state with the highest number of coronavirus cases is New York. It's, I think, more than 60,000 cases as of this moment. So as we can see here, the Philippines has 707 coronavirus cases, and as I said earlier, the Philippines just conducted a few thousand of tests compared to the 260,000 tests performed by South Korea. So what if we had the technology, we had the testing capability to detect the virus? It could be higher than 707. And according to the foreign minister in South Korea in that interview, testing, okay, is the key to knowing and resolving the issue, knowing the real number of coronavirus cases and then attacking it, and then resolving the problem as they come or as they arrive or as they are detected. In this case, 707 cases, confirmed coronavirus cases, 45 deaths, which is very unfortunate. And we don't know because the only way we can know whether the number is higher, because we are, as we all know, we are under or on a lockdown. We are following enhanced home quarantine, but we don't know if the people we're dealing with at the market, okay, or outside are contaminated or infected. We don't know because of the lack of capability of the Philippine government to conduct more testings. In fact, okay, the problem is not only the fact that we lacked the equipment to conduct further or thousands upon thousands of testing. It's also the delay. For example, in the case of Coco Pimentel has trended over the past days for being so stubborn, reckless, and irresponsible and stupid as well, for putting the lives of frontliners at the Makati Medical Center at risk. Okay, in his case, he got the result of the testing. He got himself tested after having all these symptoms over the past days from March 12, March 14, when he felt body pains. On March 18th, I think that's when he felt severe fever, and he only decided after learning that his colleagues were infected, Miguel Zubiri. And on March 12th, I'm gonna stress this again, I did discuss this in my previous vlog, okay? On March 12th, he was advised by Senators Sherwin Gatchalian and Senator Nancy Binay that they might have been infected despite showing all the symptoms from March 14 and up to 18 and 20th. Senator Coco Pimentel refused or did not submit himself to testing, and he finally decided, after feeling all the symptoms, to have himself tested on the 20th, and he got the result 4 days after that. He got the result on the evening of the 24th by 9 p.m. according to his apology. So not only that, we have a problem when it comes to our capability to test thousands upon thousands of possible infected Filipino people, but also the slowness of the process, the delayed pace of the process. South Korea is definitely an economically developed country. We are, we cannot compare the Philippines to South Korea. Probably our best comparison is gonna be Thailand or Malaysia. Out of the 260,000 tests South Korea performed over the past weeks, they confirmed 9,241 cases, confirmed cases of coronavirus, and the number of deaths is very low compared to the average. The average coronavirus death worldwide is 3%, more or less 3%. Italy has the highest number of deaths percentage-wise, okay, at 4%. The reason why, according to experts, is unlike probably China, Italy has older population. It has the second oldest population in the world. All right, and as we all know, the virus kills the older people. Not only the older, age is definitely something that we need to consider, but there are risk factors that we need to consider. According to research, 98% of the coronavirus deaths is due to complication or other related illnesses, and the highest of which is hypertension or high blood pressure, and also heart diseases. This can serve as, additional risk for fatality, higher fatality rate. So let's just listen to this interview by this obviously a British television company with this Korean Prime Minister. I like her English. It sounds like Britishy to me, and she's very articulate, and she's able to present the case of South Korea very clearly and succinctly in this interview. Let's listen to this interview, shall we?
But first, let's turn to South Korea, because they have seen a slowdown in the number of cases and may just be over the worst. How have they done it? I'm joined live from Seoul by South Korea's Foreign Minister, Kyung-wha. Foreign Minister, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me, Mr. Marr.
Thank you. You have adopted a particular strategy towards this. Just explain to us the basis of your strategy.
Yes. The basic principle is openness, transparency, fully keeping the public informed. And I think this is paying off. We have a very good healthcare system to begin with. We have a system that is highly wired, as you can imagine, and fully utilizing that, we have dealt with this outbreak from the very beginning with transparency, and that's the way we've won the public trust and support for this. And as you say, we are seeing a stabilizing trend. For 3 days in a row, the number of newly confirmed positive cases is smaller than the number of those fully cured and released.
You've also got the most extraordinary testing system. You're testing, I think, 20,000 people a day,
Yes.
which is far more than any other country of your size. How have you managed to achieve this, and why is testing central to what you're doing?
Well, first of all, testing is central because that leads to early detection. It minimizes further spread, and it quickly treats those found with the virus. That's the key behind our very low fatality rate as well. I think our system quickly approved the testing system after the Chinese authorities released the genetic sequence of the virus in mid-January. Our health authorities quickly conferred with the research institutions here and shared that result with pharmaceutical companies, who then produced the reagent and the equipments needed for the testing. And so I think our testing is nearly 250,000 at this point, 268,000 as of today.
That's remarkable. The other thing that you do, of course, is that you monitor people afterwards. You're not going into the same kind of lockdown, the social
Yes.
exclusion that a lot of European countries are, but instead you're monitoring people by phone app. Again, can you explain why you're doing that and not closing down large chunks of your country?
Well, I think this is being faithful to the values of our very vibrant democracy, which is open and, the government fully in the service of the people. And I have to say our public is very demanding, expects the highest standards from government services. And I think this is the key. We are monitoring very closely the inbound traffic. We have also put in place vetting of outbound traffic so that we minimize the risk coming in from the inbound traffic, but also make sure that we do our very best to contain the spread within country, but also taking steps to vet those with possible symptoms among those who are leaving the country.
The number of new cases is slowing down. Do you think you're over the worst now?
Well, the peak of new cases was in late February, when we had hit over 900 new confirmed cases. That has now come down to 76 new cases as of today. So yes, we are definitely seeing a normalizing trend, reduction of new cases. But of course, we're not complacent. This is not just about us, and we are taking this approach of openness and transparency, not just domestically, but to the international community, because we are a country that is highly interdependent with the rest of the world. Our economy depends on this interdependency diplomacy with the outside world. So we want to keep the doors open with the other countries. And so as this disease spreads to many more countries, we are watching very closely, and we are committed to maintaining our open approach. It may not be applicable in other countries with less IT infrastructure and other values, but I think in the end we have to acknowledge that this is not going to be the last time a novel pathogen becomes a global health threat. So we hope that our experience and our approach and model informs other countries dealing with this COVID-19, but also leading to greater international collaboration for better preparedness when this comes around the next time.
As it will, in your view. This is not the end of, even if you get through this, it's not the end of the episode, it's the beginning of a new way of living, almost.
Yes. One thing I also would like to point out, as governments also have to guard against panic. I think governments have to be cool-headed about this and do what we do based on evidence and science. Declaration of the pandemic by the WHO risks turning the spread of the virus into a spread of fear and phobia. I can't tell you how many incidents I get reports of Asians, not just Koreans, but being verbally abused, even physically attacked in other countries. And this, governments have to take responsibility to stop this kind of incident, because that is not helpful to generating the spirit of collaboration that we absolutely need to overcome this challenge together globally.